anybody that really's been like a super fan of the catalog, and then, you know, I always been on the conscious tip. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, for me, it's to take a step back and kind of to see and realize all of these different individuals who, I don't care why they do it at this point. So I try not to ever pass judgment on anybody. You know what I mean? But I think that it is definitely, you know, you got your group of individuals that do it for the fad. You got your groups of individuals that's doing it for $1, and you got ones that's really about that life. You know what I mean? And I've always been about that, you know, to live woke life and talking about using my platform when it wasn't cool to do it. When, you know, when people said, you know, at the height of my career, I once saw an article that said at the height of my career, you know, coming off the success of the Customer record, and you know, and Woman being my first #1, and Customer being my biggest probably urban record to date. Then I came with a record called Bulletproof, you know, which featured Ludacris back in 2010, which is 10 years ago, ironically, right? A decade ago. And, you know, I had, you know, that record resonates with right now. It resonates with 50 years ago, and it'll resonate until, you know, until either, you know, white supremacy completely dies out, you know, and a lot of other woes, you know, that exist, you know, on this planet, you know, sex trafficking. There's so much. It's so many things, man, that every day you kind of wake up and just like, you either see on social media now because of social media, you're more exposed, and it's kind of like right in your face. But the evils, until the evils completely change, you know, there's going to be a need for us to use that platform. And music is a weapon. It can either be a weapon of mass destruction, or it can either be a love bomb. You know, and I always try to put that vibration of love in the music. You know, I wrote, you know, one of my new nicknames or attributes is kind of like Young Marvin Marley Mayfield. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like a fusion of like Marvin Gaye, Bob Marley, and Curtis Mayfield. You know, with a hip hop twist to it. You know, speaking on COVID, I think that it definitely gave me an opportunity to all of us to kind of sit still and reevaluate some things. You know, from day one, it allowed me to be a lot more engaging with my fan base. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, I started like the Raheem DeVaughn quarantine sessions, which I've still been doing. It also let me know, you know, how prepared am I to sit still, like, you know, moving forward, like, you know, if this thing had to be extended, or which it is, you know what I mean? COVID is kind of like an indefinite thing until they get it, you know, until they get a cure or a proper vaccination. It's kind of like, you know, we're gonna be regulated and kind of limited to what we can do, especially as recording artists and as performers. So, you know, finding new ways creatively to connect with the fans artistically, from a performance standpoint, and from a sanity standpoint. I think, like, you know, my quarantine sessions have been not only therapeutic for me and give me something to do, you know, down in the man cave, but also it's enlightening and great for the person on the other side of the world, or the other side of the screen, Black Mirror. You know what I mean? So, and there's power in that too, and just kind of just using it properly. You know, I've been able to raise money for my foundation and do community work. Still, you know, I've been able to still do shows. I mean, it's you know, virtually and what have you. So, I mean, it's a different pay. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, if you can still make money in this economy, and with all that's going on in the world, as an artist or a musician, you're doing pretty well for yourself. And it's not to make not that it's just money motivated, and it's not to make light of what's going on either. You know, because when I started out kind of conflicted. It's like, do you charge for a show or do you not charge for a show? You know, I'm an independent artist, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I've been independent for 10 years. I make it look easy, but like most other indie artists or artists, period, you know, most of your bread and butter comes from performing, you know what I mean? And based on, whether you have other streams of revenue or other businesses or don't have, you know, you're very dependent upon, you know, the performance part of it and the show money and stuff of that nature. So it's been an interesting process and to grow and you know, and through it. But definitely all in all, I'm one of those guys that still fight, that likes to try to find the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? So I try to find a positive in every negative. And definitely some positive things have come out of this, you know, us being still in COVID-19, you know, but whether COVID-19 exists or not, you know, what we're experiencing in, as far as like the police brutality and social injustice, systemic racism and stuff, man, this stuff's been going on for, you know, before we were all born, you know. And again, being able to sit still where everything has your more than undivided attention, it's you know, it's been able, you know, it's like a magnifying glass on it right now.